Welcome to the three-part series of how to lead the ultimate worship set. I'm so glad you clicked on this video. So we're going to dive right in. Part one. So part one is focusing more on the spiritual. So the first section of this video is going to be focusing on getting our heart right. So this is going to be focusing more on making sure that we pray, we meditate on scriptures, we silence our heart and our mind. Make sure that we live in worship for the whole week. I know we're supposed to live in worship our whole lives as much as possible, but specifically try and focus on doing that in the week leading up to you leading worship. So our hearts are changing. So our worship is going to be very formative. So therefore, the public stage is basically a billboard of what's going on in our own personal life. So we have to make sure that we have all those aspects right in our heart. So moving on to the fact that music is a very powerful tool. So we all know this. So music is emotionally moving. It can bring people to God, and it could also be used to manipulate people. And so we have to make sure that as we're building our set, that we ask ourselves the question, why? Why are we choosing this song? Why are we choosing this key? The why is the important part here, not the what. The why, because we have to make sure that we're not manipulating people. So there's two ways to change human behavior in this particular setting. So obviously there's manipulation and there's inspiration. So manipulation is the cheat, the fake, and it's not our job to do this. As worship leaders, that's not us. So evoking emotion through what we're doing is going to happen. Now we have to make sure that we're not manipulating people, but that we're setting the stage for the Spirit to be able to move. So we have to make sure we really, really evaluate our why. And the last thing about this particular section that I want to talk about is if Jesus were to walk into the room where you're leading worship on that Sunday, would it be any different? And if so, make sure, going back to what we said before, that our heart is right. So this next section is about asking the pastor or the preacher what the sermon topic is. And so once you get that information, it's a good idea to choose one, two, possibly the whole set that relates back to the sermon. And so by doing that, you're going to help people remember what was talked about on that service a whole lot easier. And so that by remembering those songs and singing them throughout the week, they'd be like, oh yeah, I remember what the pastor talked about. If that's not possible, try and complement the sermon as much as possible. And I'm going to give you another challenge. If there were no sermon at all, would the gospel message be clearly seen through the songs that you chose? So as much as possible, we want to try and incorporate the gospel message in the songs that we choose. If you're having trouble with themes, it's a good idea on Planning Center. I know there's a button that you can click for Planning Center, and if you put in a theme, all the songs show up for that particular theme, or simply Google it. If you Google it, you can have a whole bunch of song ideas through that. Next up is probably something that might get overlooked, or something that's going to be very hard to plan for, but that's the season of your church. Did someone just pass away? Did someone just get diagnosed with an illness? Did someone just get married? It doesn't have to be something negative. Is it a Christmas season? Is it an Easter season? Keep that in mind as you're choosing songs for your set. So now we're on the last part of this video, and that's choosing songs that are theologically correct. Now we can go down a huge rabbit hole as to what songs are theologically correct by what band that is, preaching the right thing. But that's something you should be speaking more with your church leadership. So I'm going to give you my stance on it. So obviously I grew up in a church that played Bethel, Elevation, Hillsong. But what I do now is I try to stay away as much as possible from those songs. Will I never use those songs in worship? No. So it is possible that some of those songs are theologically correct, that are very powerful, but I'm not going to say from the stage who it's by. We're going to focus on the words that are being sung and making sure that they are theologically correct. So Can God use things that were meant for evil to be good? Yes. And this is exactly my stance on this situation. Now, obviously, we could also go down the rabbit hole of, well, this guy's associated with this band, therefore this guy is not good. Like, we can go down a huge tree of who not to sing, and then basically I think at like 7 degrees of separation you're going to find something wrong with someone, and so we can't be doing that. Let's just focus on the words that are sung, and I think that's the important part. Hey, so thanks for watching part 1 of this video series. If you liked what you saw, please like and subscribe. This gets it out to more people. If it can help more people, then why not? I'm totally for that. Thank you. Have a great day.